What's up, YouTube? This is MathWiz97 and welcome to episode number 72 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. We're here with Tuesday night main event, and we're kicking off the episode with singles competition as Justin Gabriel goes one-on-one with Kofi Kingston of The New Day. The Miz and R-Truth, Awesome Truth, defeat Los Matadores in tag team competition. Adam Rose will go one-on-one with the maniacal Corey Graves. Sheamus defeats the Great Khali. And in the main event, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, Chris Jericho, will go one-on-one with Super John Cena. That's going to be a match to look forward to later on this evening. But of course, we're kicking this thing off with a battle of singles competitors of tag teams. I didn't phrase that very well. But nonetheless, we have Justin Gabriel of the International Airstrike taking on Kofi Kingston of The New Day. Xavier Woods ringside for this one, as well as Tyson Kidd. And this is almost a tale of two different tag teams. Like, on the opposite end of the spectrum here. We're looking at Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of The New Day. I mean, The New Day, they have been very unsuccessful as a tag team. They were almost to the point where it looked like they were going to end up disbanding. They just couldn't win a match to save themselves. But more recently, I mean, especially after we saw Big E defeat John Cena last night, or not last night, but last Friday on SmackDown, it appears as though The New Day could be at a turning point in their careers. I think they have finally kind of put the pieces together. Now, I mean, granted, it's one thing to win a match, a singles matchup, as opposed to winning a tag team matchup, but The New Day have been, you know, they're slowly but surely turning their careers around. I mean, we did see them defeat Big Show and Kane in a tag team matchup a couple of weeks ago on main event, which was a bit, you know, Kane and Big Show, they're still kind of trying to figure themselves out as a tag team, but The New Day, they're starting to really improve their abilities, and I really think they could be. I mean, I know it's been a while since they made their debut. I don't know if it's exactly appropriate to call them, you know, the next breakout tag team. It might be a little late for that, but that's what I feel like they're getting to. They're really on the cusp of becoming something great. They've finally, you know, they have talent. Kofi Kingston, a former tag team champion. Big E, almost a United States champion in his own right. I mean, they have the tools to be successful, but they just haven't quite been able to piece it together. There's just been this one little thing that's kind of been preventing them from moving forward. But I think if they can, you know, correct that, they could be the future of this universe mode, especially the future of the tag team division. And then we take a look at the International Airstrike, who, granted, they were never tag team championship material. They never made it quite that far. But they were very successful. They were in that #1 contenders match back prior to Elimination Chamber against Booker T and Goldust. And they were successful. They were on the cusp of becoming #1 contenders, but they just couldn't quite get that far. They just had this one missing link. And now it appears as though the International Airstrike, they're almost falling into that New Day sort of streak where they're just kind of losing match after match. I mean, they haven't just been consistent. They've lacked consistency. I mean, one week they'll win a match against the Usos. The next week they'll be losing a matchup against Awesome Truth. And it's just, they can't seem to piece things together. And I think perhaps they're running out of time. Perhaps also running out of patience with each other. Could perhaps be time that Gabriel and Kidd break off and go their separate ways into their singles careers. I mean, we have seen Justin Gabriel leading up to Over the Limit. It looked like Justin Gabriel was doing well in singles action, but, you know, at the same time, he's just kind of appears as though even that has run its course. But Gabriel, after that arm drag off the top rope, he's looking to finish off Kofi Kingston right here and now. But Kofi counters it and now drives the elbow into the face of Gabriel. Gabriel now counters Kofi Kingston's attempted offense. And look at this, a pump handle neck breaker by Justin Gabriel. Forearm across the face with a cover. 2 count. And Kofi Kingston kicks out at 2. What are you doing, Xavier? Ref, get Xavier Woods out of the ring. What is happening? I have no idea, but the match will continue. The show must go on. Justin Gabriel with that beautiful kick to the side of the head. Ref, control Xavier Woods. Get him out of the ring. Xavier, what are you doing? Are you trying to get Kofi disqualified here? I'm not sure I understand what's going on right now, but the match is still going on here. We still have a match. Xavier Woods, he hasn't gotten physically involved yet, so there's no call for disqualification, it seems. But Kofi Kingston, nice side Russian leg sweep as he takes down Justin Gabriel. Kofi Kingston now looking to turn this thing around, but now it's a counter from Gabriel. Side Russian leg sweep of his own. And now a standing moonsault from Gabriel. And he's going to go for the cover yet again. 2 counts, and again a kick out by Kofi. Gabriel's really got Kofi on the ropes at the moment. As I keep like mumbling. Blah, blah. But anyway, look at this. Kofi Kingston caught Gabriel off guard. SOS. As we get the replay on that. Look at that. A beautiful move by Kofi. 2 count. And that is it, folks. Kofi Kingston picks up another victory for the New Day. Big E with his huge upset on SmackDown over John Cena. And now here tonight, Kofi Kingston gets a solid victory over Justin Gabriel. Very back and forth matchup between these two competitors. But it's clear that, you know, while one team is on their way up to stardom, they've found themselves and they're building themselves up. The other, well, they're going in the complete opposite direction. As Kid and Gabriel, their time as a tag team could be numbered. They could be on borrowed time at this point. I wonder how close they are to the breaking point. I mean, they just haven't been able to achieve that success that they may have expected after forming as a tag team. But nonetheless, it's not good to dwell on the negatives. Kofi Kingston, he gets to celebrate the win tonight. So at least we've got one team going in the right direction. But we're going to move on to the next matchup this evening. As we can see, the Exotic Express. Well, they're here. They're dancing their way down to the ring with that darn bunny. And what is that, a clown? A guy in a morph suit. I don't understand the type of people Adam Rose likes to hang around. I really don't. I understand he's a party animal, but you know, maybe this is just coming from me as more of an anti-socialite. I mean, Adam Rose, he's got some weird friends, if you can even call them that. Just, I mean, I don't understand Adam Rose. I just don't. Well, maybe the Exotic Express is going to be able to give him a hand here tonight against this man, Corey Graves. And I mean, Adam Rose, if he's going up against Corey Graves, you need all the help you can get, buddy. Because Corey Graves, he has taken out some of our brightest young talent here in Universe Mode. I mean, we saw at Over the Limit, Adrian Neville was taken out of action by Corey Graves. Last week, Sami Zayn was assaulted and perhaps put on the shelf as well by Graves. And I mean, if guys like Neville and Zayn, they may be rookies, but they're no slouch in that ring. And, you know, they're very talented competitors, but if Corey Graves can, you know, toss them aside just as easily as he has been, I mean, I don't see how Adam Rose is going to be able to survive against Corey Graves here tonight. Now, granted, Corey Graves' attacks, as opposed to his wrestling matches, are not nearly as... Well, the attacks are far more severe than he is in the ring. It almost seems as though Graves is almost holding back in the ring, perhaps even toying with his opponents. I mean, we saw last week on SmackDown, Graves competed against Justin Gabriel, and Gabriel got off just fine, but perhaps that's just because Corey Graves doesn't feel that he needs to spend the time, the energy in sidelining these opponents. As I can't even speak at the moment, I'm stuttering all over the place, but Corey Graves, I mean, he loves inflicting pain. That much we know. We've seen that over the past month, that Corey Graves, he loves dishing out as much punishment, as much pain as he can possibly muster. But when I don't know, I just feel as though in a regular wrestling matchup, Corey Graves just doesn't have the same fire, the same intensity that he does, like we saw against Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. Perhaps, you know, we won't truly see the best of Corey Graves unless there's a no disqualification stipulation or something like that. Because I feel like Corey Graves could really stand out in a matchup where there are no rules. Because Corey Graves, I'm sure he's not a superstar who abides by the rules. I mean, he's just out to destroy his opponents by any means necessary. I don't know. Adam Rose, he's in a lot of trouble here tonight. I mean, going up against Corey Graves. Graves, he's just shown what he can do. He can end people's careers. I truly think that he has ended the career of Adrian Neville and perhaps even Sami Zayn. And Adam Rose, he could be next on the list. If Corey Graves chooses to end Adam Rose's career, I truly think he can do it. But Adam Rose, he's doing whatever he can to try to keep himself alive in this matchup. A nice neck breaker there, taking down Graves. As you can see now, Rose with a couple of strikes. Going on the offensive here. Backing Corey Graves into a corner. And look at this. Oh, nice slam there. The alley-oop almost into a power bomb from Adam Rose. As now he goes for the cover, but Graves, not even a 1 count. Graves is back to his feet in an instant. As now he takes Adam Rose down with a side Russian leg sweep. Corey Graves, you can see this sort of slow, methodical pace definitely suits his style a lot more than Adam Rose. Oh, and look at this backbreaker by Corey Graves. That devastating backbreaker as he goes for the cover, but Adam Rose kicks at it too. Adam Rose, though, he's a party animal. He likes things fast-paced, and, you know, the quicker the match, the more he'll excel in that ring. So going up against someone like Corey Graves, who has this slow, more methodical style. Oh! Countered there by Adam Rose with a nice forearm to the face. But Corey Graves, I mean, his style of a match is far different than Adam Rose's. Adam Rose, he's innovative. You could say that. That's probably the best way to put it. You know, he's got a very unique style in that ring. Corey Graves is a very smash mouth competitor, but Adam Rose, I feel like he might have a style that can perhaps get him to at least a decent point in this matchup where he can hold his own against Graves, because you don't know what to expect from Adam Rose. Let's be frank. Oh, look at this. He's got Graves. Party foul. Party foul connects. Adam Rose hooks to the leg. Could have Graves a huge upset. But no, Adam Rose unable to put Graves away. And I'm sure Adam Rose, I don't know what he's thinking, because that was his finisher. That was his best shot. And Graves just kicked out of it. Now look at this. A roll-up by Rose. 2 count. Not even a 2 count. Graves is back to his feet. Adam Rose, the party foul wasn't enough. I'm sure Adam Rose, he's got to be perhaps a bit beside himself, because that was his best shot. That was his finishing move. And Graves, it wasn't enough. Graves is back to his feet, back on the attack. So yeah, Adam Rose, he's got a unique personality, a unique in-ring style, but after what just happened, it doesn't look as though that's going to be enough for him to hold his own against Graves tonight. I mean, he's managed to inflict some serious damage, but I don't know if he's got what it takes to win this thing. As Graves, yet again, second backbreaker there. That devastating backbreaker could snap your spine as he goes for the cover. 2 count. And that is it, folks. Adam Rose. You know, granted, he put up a fight. He wasn't too bad, but he wasn't exactly an A+. He just didn't have what it took to defeat Corey Graves. And Corey Graves, his destructive path will continue to run, ravaging the WWE. And I mean, at this point, Graves, we might even have to take him out of in-ring competition, because we're going to run out of superstars after a while. Graves, I mean, he's already taken out Neville, Zayn, perhaps Adam Rose tonight. I mean, granted, his attack on Adam Rose tonight throughout that matchup was a bit more tame than what we've seen him do to Neville and Zayn, but I don't know. In that ring, Graves still can inflict a lot of damage. We might not see Adam Rose for a couple of weeks. But as we move on to the next matchup, our main event of the evening, hopefully one that will be, I would expect to be a more fast-paced style of matchup, and hopefully not as destructive, as severe as the last matchup we just saw, as we can see two main eventers squaring off, as it's Y2J, Chris Jericho, the lead singer of Fozzy, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, the man of 1,004 holds, Chris Jericho, taking on the Superman of WWE, John Cena. As Cena here tonight, he's looking to rebound off of his loss to Big E last Friday on SmackDown. And a victory over Chris Jericho is certainly a way to get your name back in the hunt. It'd be a good way for Cena to rebound off of the defeat at the hands of Big E. Jericho, on the other hand, he's in a similar spot that Cena is, where he has just kind of struggled over the past couple of months. I mean, at one point, he was in the World Heavyweight Championship title picture. Back at Survivor Series, he was in the triple threat against Mark Henry and Sheamus. He was unsuccessful, and ever since then, Jericho just hasn't been able to get himself back in the title picture. Granted, he was in the final two, he was one of the final two participants in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber matchup. Of course, he was defeated by Christian when all was said and done, but Jericho did enough to make an impact in that matchup to hold his own, and he was a serious threat, but it seems as though he's fallen from his pedestal, and he's having a tough time getting back up to the top of the ladder. But tonight, a victory over John Cena would certainly be a good way for him to boost himself back up, get himself a nice head start in making the climb to the top. But either way, one of these two men are going to benefit from this matchup, and one of these men, well, they'll remain in the same position they're in right now. As Jericho, nice backbreaker there to John Cena. But like I said, both of these men are in the same position, they're struggling, and they are in desperate need of a singles victory. And that's exactly what one of them are going to get here tonight. But unfortunately, for every winner, there must be a loser. The question is, which of these two men have the greater resolve? Which one of these two men have the greater ability? And which one of these two men will be a winner on this night? As John Cena delivers a nice kick to the gut of Jericho. And now a knee as he counters the strike attempt from Jericho. Jericho blocks the clothesline, now delivers a nice right hook to the face of Cena. And now an enziguri to the side of the head, or I should say the back of the head. That'd be more accurate. As now Jericho goes after the knee of John Cena, perhaps trying to soften him up for the walls of Jericho. Now stomping on the arm of John Cena, just attacking every single appendage that is open to be attacked. As now Cena tried to counter him, but Jericho with the nice jawbreaker there. And now a kick to the back of John Cena, but Cena back to his feet. And look at this. Might have taken Jericho's head off with that clothesline. Cena now gaining control in this one. Looking to go on the offensive, but Jericho counters, and he's back with a strike to the skull. Perhaps looking for the walls of Jericho, but Cena able to block it. He knew it was coming, and he was able to shut it down. And now another clothesline by John. As Cena, with those big powerhouse strikes, I mean, that's going to be what'll get him the advantage in this matchup, is his power game. He's not going to be able to outspeed Jericho in this thing. And Jericho certainly has the greater technical ability of the two. But Cena, his power might be enough to keep him in this. Oh, but Jericho counters the attempted AA. And now a flying forearm shot to the face of John Cena. Look at this, springboard crossbody. And while he didn't connect flush, he might have just managed to get enough of John Cena to do some serious damage. And a nice belly-to-belly suplex there from John Cena. Not even really a suplex, just a belly-to-belly slam. And now an elbow drop right across the forehead, almost right at the nose of Chris Jericho. And now look at this, Jericho with the code breaker. He connects. And now if he can just hook the leg, he's got to get Cena away from the ropes. And that could lose him some serious time. Oh, and that's just what it did. It gave Cena enough time to regather his wits. And now he's firing up the 5 moves of doom. The shoulder blocks. And now he takes him down with that spin out mat slam. And look at this. John Cena, you can't see him. And Jericho, he doesn't know what's about to come his way. 5-knuckle shuffle by John Cena. The punch to the skull. And now he goes for the cover. 2 count. And that is it, folks. Okay, we didn't even need the 5 moves of doom. John Cena, all he needed were 4 moves of doom to finish off Chris Jericho here tonight, which, I don't know, granted these two did go back and forth, but I'm surprised that was all it took to put Jericho away. Interesting. But nonetheless, John Cena, he gets the victory he needed. Perhaps, you know, it's just his desperation. Maybe he put a little more power behind that punch than he normally would. And by a little, I of course mean a lot. Sarcasm, of course. Never mind. I tried to save myself. Didn't work. But John Cena here tonight, he gets a victory that he desperately needed. He desperately needed that victory. And he got it. And now Cena could perhaps, this could be the start of something big for Cena. Could perhaps create a domino effect that could propel him to the main event and perhaps even into a WWE Championship matchup, but we'll have to wait and see. That is it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I want to thank you for watching, and until the next episode of Universe Mode, thank you for watching, and keep on YouTubing.